G'day boys, how you going? So the new Monster Subjugation rules have been out, so you can no longer use the same unit over and over, and they've also reduced the waves from 30 waves down to 20 waves. So I just wanted to make a quick video here. I got recommended a team in chat earlier on when I was streaming that you can actually build one team that will do all three of them, and I've just built it and tested it out. We were able to clear them all. So let's just go through them all real quick, and I'll just show you what the team is and the fact that we can actually beat all three teams, all three elements with just the one team. Okay, so this is the team here that we're using. You can see here we've got a little bit of all the elements. We have damage coming out from both the wind, fire, and water. So it is enough damage coming out that you can get through here. I have just cleared them all. Let me just go through and I'll show you all the runes that I've got on them. And then we'll just do a bit of a playthrough and you can just see the team going through and how it works. So the first one that we have here is the Hraesvelg. He's incredibly powerful here. Not only does he provide the 33% attack lead, but also with his skill 3, he's going to be your attack buffer, and he also gives you a speed buff too, which just adds damage overall. And it's an AoE hit. So for those initial early waves, he'll actually one-shot those for you, as well as providing all that utility to your team. He also has a branding on skill 2, which can, if you get stuck on some of those later stages, especially on the boss stage at say level 15 or level 20, that branding does come in handy, as well as its big single target damage. You can see here that mine isn't actually on like an insane damage build. I use this in my guild siege to offense, so that's why he's so fast. You don't need him this fast at all. In fact, if you slowed him down a lot but you put him on crit damage, that would be even better for you. Let me just quickly flash the Hraesvelg runes. He's on a speed, crit rate, and attack build here. Okay, the next one that we have here is the Rauk. Now, I've gone for the violence set on this one. You probably don't even necessarily need that either, but it does help because if he doesn't quite get a kill with a unit, but he violent procs and then he kills the unit, well then he'll take an extra turn again, because that's how his passive works, right? Every time he kills a unit, he gets to have another turn, and it lowers his cooldowns. So which then just allows you to get this teamer off more often, which then allows more damage. So on him, we've opted for a speed, crit damage, and attack build. Next, we have one of the Ikarus here. Now, I've had to opt for my single fight determination Ikaru because I don't have enough defense on my other ones to do the team ups. So this is why we've opted for this one here. It's not my best Ikaru, but it's the one that I've got the highest defense on. He's just on a defense build, but whatever Ikaru you have, as long as he can do those team up. The next one we have here is the Astar. So you can see here, I don't even have an artifact on it, so I didn't need it. So you could squeeze a little bit more juice out of it. This is the star that I use for my Toa normal rush. It's on my Verd set, right? So this is just the set that I've taken off of my Trikaru Verd that I use in DB12. It's just a big damage set, right? So whatever your biggest damage set is that you've got lying around on whatever unit you have, maybe a Fat Lucian or your Trikaru Verd, take that set, slap that onto your Astar, and that's how you get your big damage out. Now, the team ups that you get with your Ikaru and your Rauk, this is when we're doing the AoE skill 1 that does big damage and just gets you through those waves faster. It's about getting enough damage out to kill things, but also hitting enough things enough times that you don't take too long getting to the final stages. She's just on an attack, crit damage, and attack build. This is, like I said, this is my premium damage dealing rage set that I have. Now, lastly, we have the water homunculus here. Now, again, I don't have an artifact on him either, so there's a couple little quick upgrades we could make. He's also on an attack, crit damage, and attack build. Now, this is my highest damage fatal set that I can make. This is usually lives on my Talia that I use just in some siege and bits and pieces like that. I kind of move it around a little bit. I don't have enough rage runes to sort of make 2 rage sets. My best one is the rage one that we just saw on the Astar, and then the fatal one we put onto the homunculus here. Because the homunculus has a higher base attack, you get more value out of running fatal on him than you do rage, compared to if you were to swap them around and run the fatal on the Astar. So if you do have 1 rage and 1 fatal, make sure you put your fatal set onto the homunculus, as well as the Astar does extra damage, so she really benefits from having that rage set. So if you do have those 2 sets and they are separate like that, definitely make sure you put them on in this order. If you have 2 rage sets though, that's fine. Still put your highest DPS set, I would say, on the Astar, and then your second highest DPS set would go into your water homunculus. Alright, let's just do a quick little run through here and you can just sort of see what's going to be happening here. So Hraesvelg's gone first there. We missed the AoE attack buff skill 3, but there he does it there. You can see what I'm talking about there with his skill 3. Not only is it offering you the attack buff, the speed buff, but it also one-shot that entire wave for me really early on. So this is really good. This is why we're getting through these stages quite quickly. Now, the reason we want the Astar and the homunculus here is they both have AoEs on their skill 1, so every time they get teamed up with the Rauk or the Ikaru, we're going to be doing big damage to everybody across the board and just try and clear that wave as fast as possible. There we go. You can see there we got a second team up with that homunculus, and that just clears the waves. We didn't miss the team ups there with both the Homunculus and the Star, so a little bit slower now, but it's still going to be able to get through here. Alrighty, so we're at wave 15 now. We've still got over a minute to go, right? That's sort of the mark there. If you're about a minute at the wave 15, it takes about a minute or so to get through these last sort of 5 stages. Because obviously as you keep going through, there's a little bit more health. The level of everything goes up and up and up. So it does take longer as you go. You can see now we're not just one-shotting everything with one hit. We are needing to get a couple of hits on them. And this is where the speed buff out of Razewell actually really comes in handy too. Because that speed buff on means we're going to be able to take extra turns and lap these. And we're going to get a couple of hits off before they even take their first turn. Nearly through. Attack buff back on, beautiful. All right, and here we go, on to the last one now. So you can see there we didn't kill them, and now they're all taking a turn. This is what really, really slows your run down. So we haven't had that up until we got to this final stage here. So that's why we were able to get through with a little bit of time there to spare. And that's it. So that's the fire one done. We'll move on to the next one. Alright, so the exact same team, the exact same runes. We haven't swapped anything over at all. We'll get this one started. Now, this one here, the Star isn't as good because obviously she's fire hitting the water elements. So we do have that chance to glance as well as we lose 15 crit rate. So we also have a chance to not land the crit as well. But you can see here, it's honestly, it's really about getting those damage out, and she does enough damage to clear these early waves, and it's about making as much time as you can possibly get for the later stage of this. So the fact that she still one-shots all these early waves really, really quickly, and we don't have to individually hit them all, we can just one-shot them all in one hit, really, really speeds up these runs. Alright, so you can see here now, we're still around that 1 minute mark with about the 5 stages to go, so we are on track to clear this one in time as well. Alright, and here we go on to the last stage here. Now we missed the defense break, but it still should be okay. We'll see how we go. We might actually just run out of time on this one because we didn't land that defense break. So you can see here, there perhaps is a little bit of RNG in these teams. You can see here, my best is finished it. So we might just run that one more time and see if we can get a little bit better RNG. And maybe I'll quickly go put those artifacts on just to squeeze out a little bit more damage. Then we'll come back and try it again. Alright, let's run that through one more time. I'll just quickly show you the artifacts now that we've got on. So the ones that I put on is what we're looking for is co-op damage. So we'll just run through this one more time. I'll just quickly speed it up and let it run through and just say hopefully we can get through this time. Alright, beautiful. We got the defense break on this time nice and early, so we should be fine now to get through. A couple of violent procs there out of rack. As long as we get another turn, actually. Oh, are we there? Alrighty, we're there. Pretty close again there. So there might be a little bit of RNG involved in terms of who you're teaming up with, but as you can see, this one here can get through as well. Finally, we'll just quickly run through the wind one as well. So the exact same team, the exact same runes, no change here whatsoever. There we go, there's that defense break that we needed. Now we should be okay, we got plenty of time, and there you go. Alrighty, so it is a little bit of RNG sometimes with this team if you want to run this the single team, but as you can see there, this one team will get through all 3 of them pretty okay. Now I just want to quickly show you guys one more tip here, just in case you weren't aware. If you just go down to the cog down the bottom here and then you go boss battle, you'll notice that every time of the boss stages, both stage 5, 10, 15 and 20, my units were always targeting the middle boss, because as soon as you actually have that one killed, you can move on. You don't need to kill everything on those waves. So if you go to boss battle, go to your attack order, and then usually when you start this box isn't checked, so just check that box there as number 1, and now they'll always target that boss for you, just to make sure that you're going through as fast as you possibly can. Now if you don't have enough damage to maybe get through, you don't have as good a damage stats as what I have on here, and actually play a little bit of elemental advantage, you could try and swap out your Ikaru or your Homunculus for another fire damage dealer, something like a Kaki. Now the other one here that was maybe a little bit of trouble for people, but just because of the elemental advantages here, so you could swap out on this one here, take out the Star and put in a Lapis here instead. But anyway guys, that's it. That's the one team, full free to play units too, which is really nice. So one team, you can get through all 3. Good luck with that one guys. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.